Alright, so one thing about the Star Wars franchise is that we do have George Lucas, Dave Filoni, and Jon Favreau all working together as a team of how they formed this alliance, if you will. These three big creatives of the Star Wars universe to really take on this new EU and to make it more successful than it ever was before. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars content. Now, the thing about Disney and Lucasfilm is that we do know that they are now in a phase of damage control and desperation. There's no doubt about this. We've also seen the fact that Bob Iger and Chapek are really working hard together as a team in order to really get Star Wars back on track. When you think about it this way, when we look at the Star Wars franchise, we have seen that it's really been hit or miss with Disney, right? We've seen that Rogue One, A Star Wars Story, was quite a successful Star Wars film. I think that a lot of you will agree, some of you may not, but I think that Rogue One was by far one of the strong points by Disney Star Wars. Where, of course, then you had The Last Jedi and The Rise of Skywalker, which were, really the big points of failure on Disney's end. The Last Jedi, definitely. Solo, A Star Wars Story, entertaining movie and all, but it really did not do all that well at the box office, and it's the movie that single-handedly actually gave a halt to the Solo films, to the A Star Wars Story format came to an end. Now, of course, with that being said, we do know that this new expanded universe is going to consist of movies, TV shows, books, novels, comics, and more, even video games at that. That's really going to add more and more to the existing canon. I'm sure that you guys saw Star Wars Squadrons the other day, a very exciting installment to the canon. Now, on top of all of this, since the end of the Skywalker saga by Disney and Lucasfilm, fans around the globe have been wondering about the future of the franchise and where it will stand in the years to come. Now, how it will compare to previous projects on if it will be better or worse. Now, they currently have over 10 years worth of Star Wars projects currently in the works, and that's not including the new Star Wars trilogy of films. However, one project that is being developed by Leslie Headland is described to include actress Brie Larson in the mix from Captain Marvel as a Jedi Master in a brand new timeline that fans have never seen before in both canon or Legends. Now, Brie Larson is actually described to be a new Jedi character that will essentially provide specific retcons to the philosophy of the Jedi in this new Star Wars TV series. Let me just say that by providing retcons to the philosophy of the Jedi in this new series, I think that that is a nightmare just waiting to happen. I think it's a big failure on Leslie Headland's part to actually change the ways of the philosophy of the Jedi. We already know that George Lucas stepped in to bring specific key elements of the plot of this new series to an end. Hopefully George Lucas will in fact prevent this later down the road. Moving on. Now, Brie Larson is actually said to have been the one to convince Leslie Headland to allow the ways of the Jedi to be changed in many different ways within this new timeline of Star Wars, and that Brie is actually said to be very excited to take on the role sometime in 2022 or 2023. Now, Brie Larson is best described as an actress who will teach other actors on set to act a certain way in this new Star Wars series, and that Larson is actually said to be a mentor of sorts to the new unknown actors that will be a part of the new Star Wars series, and that Leslie Headland is supporting this direction for Brie Larson to also have the ability to create her own lines of dialogue and to even improvise her scenes once they begin filming sometime in late 21, before they release it on Disney Plus sometime in the near future. Let me just stop right there that this is really not the best decision to go with. Obviously, Brie Larson, some of you may very well be fans of her, but I'm sure that a lot of you are really not all that big fans of her because of what she did with Captain Marvel and what she thinks about the Marvel and Star Wars fans as very toxic. Now, yes, maybe sometimes the fans can be toxic, but in the majority, all we are very passionate people who really want to see authentic Star Wars stories that stay true to the vision of George Lucas and, of course, to everything that was created before Disney took over Lucasfilm, right? Of course, we're always open to new possibilities, that's pretty much a given, but stay true to Star Wars, right? And by kind of betraying the philosophy of the Jedi and changing all these different ways and allowing Brie Larson to be a mentor of sorts of how these new unknown actors are going to be pretty much portraying new characters in this series, I think it's just a disaster. That's just my take on things. I'm sorry if you guys disagree with me, but that's my honest opinion here, is that Brie Larson being a mentor to these unknown actors on set for this new series is really going to be quite a mess. Now, of course, however, Chapek and Iger are said to be against this approach and still have a grudge with Kathleen Kennedy for even choosing Headland, which led to Brie Larson stepping in for the new series. So, once more, we can see that Kathleen Kennedy, since she does have control over the series, still has very poor leadership skills. The fact that she allowed Headland to come in, and that led for, of course, Headland to allow Brie Larson to come in with this new Star Wars TV show, and I think a lot of fans are just going to reject it, and it really does have the potential to be The Last Jedi 2.0 in the form of television, as far as Backlash goes. So with that being said, guys, drop a comment below. Let me know what you think about all of this in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, do make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.